Joel, I say we got plenty of friends, powerful friends, and they're there at the UN meeting today, contrary to what you hear in the media. What say you?
Well, we absolutely have friends, and it's good. The United States does not stand alone. But what is concerning right now is President Trump going to mobilize these friends to really achieve goals on peace and security that we need? And on Iran, as a good example, there's a real danger spot here. We're heading towards a war, and we're heading into a situation that is going to be counterproductive. So how does he work with the friends and allies? That's the most important question.
Well, Angela Merkel is going to meet with President Trump. Angela Merkel is also meeting with Rouhani, the president of Iran. That sounds like the president is trying to marshal our allies against Iran.
That is a step that we need to see follow through with. And the Germans have been asking, for example, for the United States to come back into the Iran nuclear deal as part of that. So we'll see if President Macron of France as well, he offered $15 billion in loan guarantees to Iran. President Trump said no in terms of getting back into the deal. So the Europeans, they're key. They're trying to bridge the gap. Will we work with them or not? Though that so far has not come to fruition.
Okay. Now, the president spoke to reporters. It was a chaotic scene, actually, as he walked into the United Nations. It was a mess. But the president did say on this call to Ukraine, which is such turmoil created today, he said a readout of the call, by that I think he meant a transcript of the call, which you will see at some point. In other words, the transcript of what was said in that call will be released for all to see. That's my reading of it. I hope I'm right on this. Well, that's my reading. That's a big deal.
That is a big deal. If that's the accurate reading, that's what Vice President Biden has called for. It's what congressional Democrats are asking for. And it's what many allies of President Trump are asking for as well. That will help clarify what was discussed, because right now he is getting in worse shape with the House Democrats in terms of the question of impeachment.
Joel, hold on for 1 second, please. I want to turn to Brad Blakeman, who joins us for political commentary frequently. Brad, you heard what I just said and what the president said about, and I'm going to say it again, a readout of the call. This is the Ukraine call, which you will see at some point. That, to me, is a breakthrough. We're going to find out what was said.
I don't like it, and let me tell you why. I've served 3 presidents. I'm a lawyer, and I think that this sets a dangerous precedent, not only for this president going forward in his second term, but also for other presidents who will come after him. A faceless, nameless bureaucrat who now we understand could be somebody who wasn't on the call, that it was a third party who told him. And then he went and exposed this. This is dangerous for foreign policy. It's already hurt our relationship with Ukraine, and it's hurt our relationship with other countries who are now going to be less than candid when talking to our president, believing that maybe these calls will be leaked. It's a dangerous slope to go down.
Well, yes, understood. But at the same time, if the president said this, I have to assume that he has seen a transcript of the call and knows that if it were to be released publicly, as he said it will be, he's got nothing to worry about. It's the principle that worries you.
Exactly. I'm not worried about the content at all. What I'm worried about is the precedent being set by a faceless, nameless bureaucrat interfering with the president's constitutional duty to conduct foreign policy.
Okay, hold on 1 second, Brad. Joel, you heard what Brad Blakeman was saying there. In principle, that's a problem. You say?
Well, the reason we're at this point is because the whistleblower complaint that the Inspector General is required to send to Congress has been held by the administration. If that were released, as is supposed to be by statute, we wouldn't have this controversy over the phone call, and Bradley wouldn't have to worry about the precedent.
Okay.
Yes, I would.
Okay, go ahead. Make your point, Brad.
You bet I would. And here's why. Congress is not entitled to the law, telephone conversations. And by the way, the internal investigation wasn't even complete. It was leaked. And that was so damaging. If they gave a fair shake to the president and were true to the principles that you just said, we should have never known about what was going on internally. It was leaked to damage the president and hurt the country. That's what I'm most concerned about.
Okay, I'm going to bring that particular point to an end. Joel, what do you want to hear from our president vis-a-vis China today?
I definitely want him to continue to talk tough about China. I also believe
talk tough
about China, the tariffs, in terms of ensuring that we get something out of the position we're in right now, because the position we're in is costing Americans, but there's a reason for it, and we need to ensure that the trade relationship with China is fair and real. But the president also needs to lay out a path on negotiations that will get us to an endpoint. We can't have an unending, flowing trade conflict without a real message on how we're going to deliver the goods for the American people.
I'm reading between the lines, Joel, but it sounds like the Democrats are on board with, I'm going to call it a confrontation on trade with China, but they're on board with the president on this.
There's been a consistent concern and anger, frankly, amongst Democrats about how China has taken advantage of the American workers. Yes, and we want to get tough, but we're concerned that the approach right now is harming Americans without a clear path for a successful negotiation.
Were you in the State Department under President Obama?
Yes.
I will call you a Democrat. Is that legit?
Yes, sir, I am.
Okay.
Happy to be so. Democrat all the way.
I'm perfectly happy to entertain on the set. Good stuff.